start in California. Wildfire that began on Saturday west of Yosemite National Park has now quadrupled in size to more than 3 square miles. So far, it's destroyed one house near that park, that according to a local ranger. About 100 homes have been evacuated since the weekend. 2 shelters open for people and animals in that area. The wildfire in California is just one of dozens burning across the western U.S. right now.
And a beautiful day in California turned deadly after a lightning strike. It injured 13 people and killed 1. The lightning hit the water at Venice Beach, a very popular tourist area, made famous by freak shows and outdoor gyms. Fire officials said most of those taken to hospitals were mainly shaken up and were expected to be fine.
The Obama administration is often blamed for starting a war on coal, and it's true the White House has attempted to trim the use of, quote, dirty fuels blamed for global warming. Domestic coal use has decreased, but now energy companies are sending America's unwanted leftovers to other parts of the world. In fact, the U.S. Has seen coal exports skyrocket recently. The result, even more population on a global scale. Mining companies are finding new customers. Germany is now among the top 4 European importers, along with the UK, the Netherlands, and Italy. One of the 52 million tons of coal exported last year, 31 million tons go to Europe.
And today, Australian police said the crash site of Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 is still too dangerous for investigators to enter.
We have to consider, as we have from day one, given a range of factors, given the spread of the crime scene, given the nature of this disaster, the trauma on the bodies of the victims, and now given these added complications of not being certain about when we'll get access, environmental factors, we have to prepare ourselves for the possibility that not all remains will ultimately be recovered.
Also today in the Ukraine, police sent there to secure the crash site have been sent away, just too dangerous to the fighting going on. Also, the Ukrainian security spokesman says information from the recovered flight data recorders shows that Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 crashed due to a massive explosion, loss of pressure, and being punctured by shrapnel several times. According to that spokesman, the plane suffered a, quote, massive decompression after it was hit by fragments. He said, in fact, they came from a missile.
And French investigators have landed at the Air Algérie crash site. The plane's black boxes will be transferred to France for analysis as officials begin the process of identifying the remains of the dead. The Air Algérie plane crashed in northern Mali last week, killing 118 people aboard.
Well, again, weather seems to be the main culprit there for that particular story. A lot of those speculation involved because of what's happened recently. But we do want to turn our attention to a story a little bit more touching than the last we've covered. It should touch anybody who has served in the military, has a family member who served in the military, or anyone with a heart, really. And that is the return of a flag meant for a fallen comrade's family. This is taking place in Humboldt, Texas. Lance Corporal Fred Maciel was killed in Iraq in 2005. The flag was signed here, you see here, was signed by fellow Marines and meant to be delivered to his family, but instead somehow it wound up at a flea market in Tennessee. Lainey Brown, who is the mother to one Marine and the mother-in-law of another Marine, saw it at that flea market and was prepared to pay any price to buy it and return it to its rightful family. And she, in fact, did buy it and then took to the internet to locate the corporal's family, and now that flag is back where it belongs.
Oh, wonderful story.
It goes to show, and perhaps this is indicative of the American people, but especially Marines, as the son-in-law of a Marine, I can tell you not only did that keep me minding my P's and Q's in the courtship of the Marine's daughter, but I can tell you, and we lost him now 6 years ago to cancer, but William L. Buck Yancey may have been somewhat diminutive in stature, but he had, what was that Eisenhower said, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. He was a guts-up Marine. Actually left high school early to try and join the Marines, made it until his final week of boot camp when his parents tracked him down, hauled him back to Mississippi to finish high school. And then after finishing high school, he went back to experience the pleasures of Paris Island. That's wanting to be a Marine. So I hear this story and I think of my father-in-law. I also think of the loss of Lance Corporal Fred Maciel and all those who gave the last full measure of devotion in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And we have to remember those sacrifices and semper fi to the families involved and to all Americans who gained some insight from this particular story.
We try not to waste these opportunities and get these stories out there. Let people know there's good stuff going on and good people out there still in this world. Much more to come here on America's Forum. We're back right after these commercial messages.